The Honeybee That Built Its Own Room. Part 2. I never knew sleeping well could be so refreshing, away from the never-ending buzz, safe and comfortable, sheltered from the dangers of the world at large. I have slept like a child for the past week. The Davids are a relaxed bunch, similar yet different. They buzz around, but never too close. Personal space is a concept here. They have the same 5 eyes and 6 legs. However, they are yellow on black instead of black on yellow. They don't build hives. Instead, they make small group nests where a few of them can rest peacefully with room to extend. How I wish I had met them sooner. I would have never gotten these dark circles under my eyes. One strange thing I noticed, though, I am the oldest bee here. Maybe this is a new group of wild bees. More time for them to enjoy this restful living. And not just rest, they also give time to enjoyment. Unlike Commander Derry, Captain David is much more easygoing. Every evening, as the sun sets, all the bees gather at his nest to dance and play until it is dark. It's a jovial gathering. All the bees enjoy themselves with abandon. And with that expectation, I head to Captain David's nest. However, it's a much more mellow affair today. The Davids are gathered in a compact and orderly circle, standing wing to wing. There's a couple of Davids I have not seen before. One of them has a broken wing. Not one to buzz as loud as Gary's yet today was a few steps beyond that. The Davids were dead silent, no movement. Wings lowered and still. I have never seen them this restrained before. Not one to zig when everyone zags. I find the only empty space in the room and stand beside David. "Hey David, what's the buzz today?" I say, as I attempt to keep myself from laughing. To my surprise, though, left David, right David, and front left David all shush me in unison. Left David points towards Captain David and proceeds to ignore me, as if the pointing was explanation enough. I turn to Captain David. Right on cue, he clears his throat and begins hovering a slight distance above the rest. It's time. Before I am forced to make the decision, is there any of you who would like to volunteer? He says with a forced smile, like Commander Gary's. But not with as much effort. A slight shudder passes through all gathered here. No one volunteers. "Come on, you can do it," he pleads. I have never seen a bee plead before. This is new and troubling. He turns around, looking at the others. "David, how about you?" He points to a random David. "No?" "Okay then, air." He turns to another. "David, my buddy, my friend, you know you want to volunteer, right?" Davids all around shrink into themselves. They look around, not daring to meet Captain David or each other's eyes, which is quite a feat given the number of eyes looking around. Captain David continues his futile attempts to make a case for volunteers. It's like only a 1 in 6 chance you don't make it back. You all love those odds when we were playing Honey Rummy. "Fine, I will go, and I will kick 5 at you." Captain David yells with frustration. "At random," he adds with a subtle menace. I look around. The sudden change in this peaceful colony of bees is very worrisome, to say the least. I can feel my dark circles deepening with worry. Captain David looks around, pointing randomly. I turn to left David. David, what's—" Before I could complete my question, David begins shuffling away. All the Davids around me begin moving away. Surprised, I look around. And then I notice one of Captain David's spindly legs pointing in my general direction. Well, not so general, given that the Davids had put some gap between me and themselves. I should have known better than to trust yellow and black bees. As Captain David finishes pointing his legs in awkward directions, 4 others slink down to the floor. A wave of relief passes over the others. Left David approaches me. "Well, Gary." "Uh-oh. I sense pity. I hope you had a good time with us, Gary. Seeing as you're the oldest by a big margin, I don't reckon you will be returning to us next week." Shocked and confused, I stare silently. "See ya," he says cheerfully. "But probably not," he adds solemnly, and flies away to join the festivities that have spontaneously begun. Captain David and the selected Davids fly up to me. He is in a sullen mood. "Come with me, Guri. It's time for dinner." All 6 of us make for the exit and head to a nearby clearing. The others, flying with their heads sunk low, me still trying to puzzle together what was happening. As we reach the clearing, they hover near the ground. Captain David takes charge and begins explaining. "This is only for your benefit, Yuri. We will be patrolling this area for the next week. During the patrolling, it is more than likely that an evil orange bird will come and try to peck us off. We must distract it and keep it away from the nest. All 6 of us will patrol together in Lockwing. When the bird comes, all of us fly out in different directions. A small pause as a self-satisfied smile forms on his face. As fast as we can. It won't feed on more than one of us at a time and will probably go look elsewhere once it's had its fill." I drop like a stone. As my wings stop buzzing of their own volition for a moment, I catch a hold of myself before I hit the ground. "What?" I sputter out. "This was a sacrifice detail. Who devised this method to keep the rest safe? I can't do this. I am not David. I am Gary, with two Es. Well, Gary, with two Es, you were happy to join our camp and get your sleep on. So now you must join our safety rituals too. Don't be selfish, Gary. Captain David snipes at me as the other Davids surround me. You will patrol with us. Or else. I take a long gulp of air. Or else. What? Yes. The nectar from the flowers and the continuous buzz of the Davids is what has kept me going for the past 3 days. They don't let me out of a leg's reach from them. Afraid that I might slink away. They would not be wrong. The first chance I get, I am out of here. The Garys are a hard bunch to live with, but at least they don't send off a few bees each week as a living distraction to save the rest of the hive. As I reminisce about my hard life with the Garys, I come back to the past few days with the Davids. Their nests with neat separate sections for each bee, the low buzz, the daily jovial parties, the wait, what? Snap out of it. They sent me out as a sacrifice. As my mind swings between Gary's and David's, I feel a soft breeze on my back. I turn around with some level of trepidation. As always, my instincts were spot on. There was indeed a bee-eating bird, quietly hovering behind us. The other bees are off in an instant, their reflexes probably honed since childhood to escape the death bird. And that is when I realized my agoraphobia was probably misdiagnosed by me. Since a split second was all it took for me to fly upwards towards the dark night sky with all my might, I watched with shameless relief as the birds stuck to the bees near the ground. I looked around and saw a familiar shape in the distance. A large tree that houses a hive of the noisiest honeybees I have had the misfortune of meeting. My home. And without a second thought, I speed towards the bane of my existence, the Garys. Well, my return has gone down as well as I expected. Commander Gary insists on smiling at me every time he sees me and assigns me to a worker duty. The Garys insist on mispronouncing my name. And worst of all, while I was gone, neighbor Gary has been promoted to Supervisor Gary. My supervisor, who assigns me all the babysitting tasks. I must now endure not just the buzzing, but also the burping and the crying and some other choice noises all my waking hours. It almost makes me miss the Davids. Almost. I will not lie here. The Davids did rub off on me a little. For all their weird survival issues, they knew how to live comfortably. Now, I know I cannot make the Garys understand this, but I can make myself comfortable. Seeing as neighbor Gary, rather Supervisor Gary, has moved upwards, his cell was promptly paved over. And that gave me the opportunity to tunnel into his cell through mine. And now, every night, I sleep like a queen. The incessant annoyance of my fellow bees now, a comforting white noise machine. Buzz, buzz, buzz.